Hello, hello, good morning. Hello. Welcome once again to Dork Duck Daily. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Shiki. Morning, Vince. Congrats on first Cashiel. I think that's all the things. Thank you for telling me that I was still on Final Fantasy. Shiki says she's 84 pages into Tender as the Flesh. I'm sure Lena will be excited to talk to you all about that. She might be in later, probably not. I think that the 6 a.m. school pickup stuff is hitting us hard. And also oops, I forgot to do that. Let me fix that. We live this weird life where we don't have kids for 2 weeks, and then we have kids for 2 weeks, and then it's like finding any kind of rhythm when your life completely changes from 2 weeks to not. Cool story, Jeff. Here's the intro. Exactly. But then, yeah, the flip side of it, and we have two different kids in sports too. So it's like yesterday was supposed to be a day that is like filled with a little bit of peace. You know, it's like the first day kind of back into the routine of things, you know, because the kids get here on a Friday and then Monday is the first day where it's like, hey, we got to wake up and do stuff. And we have two different kids in two different sports right now. And it means that it's like, okay, well, all right. And we have a third kid who is also in a sport, um, who is a driver and usually can alleviate things. But like, because they're in a sport too, it's like, okay, well, this kid can't pick up this kid because this is going on. And so we need someone to pick up this person, and then we have to pick up this person over here. And it was a whole to do yesterday, and then again today, and then it's like, and every day wakes up with this, is like, okay, how do we figure out how everyone is going to everywhere and did everything? It's a big hot mess. Sam said, I don't know why I said it's really welcome here. What? I'm confused by that. Maybe I need to pop out the chat another time. I was trying to figure out like what, maybe I was reading chat from yesterday that somehow looped around and was like, sometimes the Twitch chat stays up 18 years. And Lena says, hi, friends. Just wanted to say sorry and that I really wanted to be part of the show today. Just not feeling mentally okay right now and can't manage to pull myself out of it. Pop out the chat. But yeah, like, which might be why Sam was saying the welcome. I might have gotten those out of order. But yeah. That is how stuff. It's again. It's a weird adjustment where we go from. We have not had like a minute of peace, and it's like I say peace, and it's like it's not like we have real. There are people out there in the world that have like real crazy problems. We just have not had that like moment of just like, okay, here are the events of the day and they're going to transpire as we expected them to happen a week ago. It's just always like, all right, this person needs to be run around this way, this person needs to run out of this. Okay. Oh, we forgot we're out of this. We needed to go do that. And it's just like, we took our Sunday and we spent it getting a room ready and we needed to do that. I think that's kind of one of the things, one of the adjustments I need to make going forward, both for Lena and myself, is that we're not taking a day to just rot and veg right now. We have like one day, and then that day fills up with like other things that we need to do. And then that catches up with you. It's, and then I'm not the best partner in the world. I ended up divorced for a reason. And so, like, I'm not good at people and feelings and navigating them and managing it. And so it's like I need to get more proactive on that and do better on the other side of thing. Sam says there's no need to apologize. Mental health and IRL stuff is way more important than streams. Sending you good vibes. I hope you feel better soon. Yeah, no. And she deserves someone better than me that can like help navigate that stuff better than I can, because I'm just always like, when I start doing mentally unwell, my thing is like, well, I just gotta do the stuff. That is my like thing, is like, just do the things, and then I just like head down, backpack. That was me as a kid. It was just like, just like wild, emotionally deregulating stuff happening, and it's like, well, throw the backpack on and go to school. Just that's what you do. You just keep on keeping on, and I just I'm getting there. I'm getting better, hopefully, but I wish I was a better person at navigating, addressing, and understanding emotional stuff. Because both my kids and Selena deserve that. And that's not what they have. They have like a borderline sociopathic. Like, well, when things get bad, we just pretend they don't exist and we keep on doing the thing. That's where my brain goes. That's how I live. That's how I've survived whatever I had to survive growing up and 37 years of doing things. All right. We do have news today that we get to cover. Every day we come here, we give you all the news you nerd in a whole ass segment. We like to call it the Daily Quack. I guess we start with the Nvidia nonsense. It's weird. Shiki said, I would argue you're better with it than you were a few years ago. It takes time to make adjustments, how we behave and react. I probably am, but like, yeah, I'm going to probably continue to fall short, probably forever, but just the distance will keep getting a little better, probably. Nvidia sheds almost $600 billion in market cap, biggest one-day loss in U.S. history. This is from Samantha Subin over at CNBC. She says, if you're actively trying, that's a big step. Yeah. But I also just get tired. Probably been a bit lurky. I'm addicted to the book right now. Yeah. That's tender as a flesh. Like, that was Selena the whole time she was reading that. She was obsessed with that book. Nvidia lost close to $600 billion in market cap on Monday, the biggest drop for any company on a single day in U.S. history. Now, I think all these weird nonsense money things aren't real, and it is whatever it is. Like, it's like this isn't a show where we're like, all right, and now today in the stock market. That's not this show, right? Both me and you listen. If you're watching this show, you're not someone who gives a two shits about the stock market and like all what these billionaires are doing or not doing. But it's just like, in stock market doesn't equal real value, and we all know all this nonsense. But like, 600 billion supposed dollars disappearing in a day over this AI insanity. It's after a year of us talking about like AI stuff, and the one day where it's like we sat here and talked about the ethics of using AI. Just like the AI has dominated the nerdy news for the last year, and like for like all of this to be bet so far in this direction that one company would go shoot all the way to the top piece of the stock market to plummet all the way down to where it's just like it's so silly. The chipmaker stock price plummeted 17% to close to 118.58. It was Nvidia's worst day on the stock market since March 16th, 2020, which was early in the COVID pandemic. After Nvidia surpassed Apple last week to become the most valuable publicly traded company, the stock drop Monday led a 3.1% slide in the tech-heavy NASDAQ. The sell-off was sparked by concerns that Chinese artificial intelligence lab DeepSeek is presenting increased competition in the global AI battle. In late December, DeepSeek unveiled a free open-source large language model that it said took only 2 months and less than $6 million to build using reduced capability chips from Nvidia called H800s. Just a second.
You locked me out?
I needed
my phone charger.
Sorry.
You locked me out of the room?
Sorry, I was.
That's not cool.
Does it seem unsettling?
You doing dances?
Yeah, dance.
It's got a real good shuffle
Yeah, I
going.
know he does. Okay.
Johnny, are you there? I guess you're out again today. Maybe you're busy, but are you doing okay?
What is this
It's
game?
Christmas soon. The year's almost over. Johnny, you haven't forgotten our pact, have you? That we'll meet again this year under the Christmas tree in D.C. on Christmas Eve? I don't care how late you show up. Just meet me there, okay? I'll be waiting. Anyway, call me again when you get in.
Maybe you want to put some clothes on before you fight evil today. Good advice, relationship advice, relationship advice.
That's real low, man. It's real low hanging fruit.
The relationship
I'm
advice.
just saying relationship advice. There's gotta be other words.
Shiki says the most important question is, will the processor be stronger? I think it's gonna have to be. Like, that's the thing.
It's bigger. It has to be stronger. That's how it works. What?
Shiki says, Lita, honey. That's not how it works.
Hi, puppy. He's so cute. Okay.
He just chewed your face off.
Bear smells something.
Yeah, bear smells something. Ah, bear! Jesus Christ! This dog is like on me.
Why did it take you 2 years to get through The Last of Us 2? Did you like just do very short streams? Like, no, we played for hours each week. Like, we'll have it. Well, we had to keep every dog alive.
You know what?
Cruise the sun.
Like the sun?
Like the literal sun.
Like the planet? Well,
The sun is not a planet.
No. Back up. The thing in our sky.
Hello, Clips.
No. I don't want it. I knew it as it was leaving my mouth. I was like, you know this sun's not a planet. But like I couldn't think of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
The ball of light? The alchemy's there, aka
Oh, we go through, all of us go through cycles where it's like the cries come easier or
yeah, it happens a week before my period, and
I wasn't gonna say that part. I was
why?
well, it's fine.
It's just
but
part of who I. Well,
yeah.
I say who I am like it's a very like.
No, I'm
Just
saying
me
I wasn't gonna say that part. I'm not gonna be on
Oh.
here and be like, guys, she almost is on the rags. She's probably gonna be crying a lot. Tune in it today at 3. All right.
Stop. Oh my god! I never.
Also, I've never jokingly or otherwise used the phrase on the
On
rag
the
before,
rag.
and I would like to. I think
Scrub that from existence.
I need to call my mom.
Last night, you rolled over in your sleep to
Mhm.
me and said, "Happy birthday." And I said, "What?" And you said, "Happy birthday." And I said, "Oh no. No, sweetheart, it's your birthday."
See, I'm going senile already.
You're like, "It is my birthday." And I was like, "Yes." Yes, it is. It was the cutest thing. And you were so genuine and sweet too. You like rolled over and like wrapped me in the biggest hug ever. And you're just like, "Happy birthday." And I'm like, whoa.
I must have been dreaming that it was your birthday or something.
Why would you dream it was my birthday on your birthday?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's on brand for me.
No.
And
Oh my
birthdays are on the mind, and I don't really care about mine. I do
I
care about
care.
yours a lot.
I thought I
It's one of those kids' books called Pipey's Plow Time. I need you to move
What?
this way. This way.
This way?
Yeah. Right there. Oh, Pip is pouting. Okay. I saw Pipey's plow time.
We know you're dyslexic, but like, bro. Pip is pouting. He sure is.
It was one of those you rolled right by, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that one's called Pipey's Plow Time," and I was like, "Pipey's Plow Time."
Mr. Tomato and Friends. Can't really read that one. Big Ben's Magic Blanket.
Okay. Pip is pouting because it's not plow time. She said that's not dyslexia, Jeff. That's theirs. It could be. Could be.
I don't think I need to be a person this week. I think I'm just gonna go home and just lay down vertically and just like
Vertically?
horizontally. Horizontally. I'm gonna lay down vertically. Do you think we could get rid of those like sensory swings for the bedroom? Not like sexually, I mean like no, I'm serious. Do you know what ones I'm talking about? They're for autism. And they're like
No.
the swings that hang from the
I know. I'm aware of the swings to the bedroom. Yes.
What?
What'd you say?
I just repeated what you said
Oh.
because we're in the stage of the morning show where I just start echoing things like random words because you're losing me.
I'm just trying to read the comments.
No, I know, and I'm interested in the comments, but I'm less interested in you. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's kind of cute. Guessing I'm not going to feel that way in a few minutes, but. He's like a big weird puppy. With human feet. Big weird puppy with human. I don't like the feet. Oh yeah, you get that chin back up, buddy. Okay. Ugh. Okay. You got kind of a caboose. That's beautiful. Because that's wildly helpful, because then I can cross-reference that with the map. I don't know where I'm going. Stand still so I can fist you.
Ugh, of course there's another one. I'm probably gonna die here. Unless...
I believe in you.
Oh, no. I turned around, ready to go through that hole, and then I was like, maybe I can make it. No, I couldn't make it. She got me. I know I died.
You died.
Thanks for letting me know. And not
There's the
written
Pizza
out.
Hut wine.
Not written out on the internet.
Look at it in all its glory.
You ever find something out and you're just like, I don't want to share that information with anyone. That is this. I don't want to know. I don't care. I don't go to Pizza Hut. I don't go to Pizza Hut.
No, because someone has to go through and find articles for this show.
Uh-huh.
And that is the worst job in the world right now. Because you're sitting there and like every article is like, by the way, Pennywise is now the National Director of Child Safety. And we're like scrolling past that. I don't want to read that or know that information. Oh, look, Pizza Hut wine. At least there's a little whimsy there.
I don't know that you could call this whimsy, but I suppose you're right. I would rather hear about the Pizza Hut wine than anything.
Woo! Pizza Hut wine. The veggies have to jiggle.
Yeah, when I slap my eggplant, I want that thing to jiggle. I don't know why I thought of eggplant, and I was like, don't say any. I was like, don't say eggplant. In my brain, I was like, don't say eggplant, don't say eggplant, and then it just came out. Oh, hi, Bear. Whoa. Damn, he was right there fucking waiting for me.
The enthusiasm with which you greet this dog that rips your face off.
He's famous for his spicy pickled green beans. Ew,
Okay.
what the fuck, Fritz? Calm down. Pick some up for your next charcuterie plate. Charcuterie. I don't know how to say that word.
Charcuterie. What did you say?
Charcuterie.
Did you say shark coochie? As in the vagina of a shark?
That's how I've seen it. As everybody's like, that's how you pronounce it. Technically, charcuterie.
Shark coochie.
Yeah? What's your vote usually?
That one's
that
yam.
situation?
Why does it say yam? Pizza.
Pizza on the table. It's like
I was
in
so
blackjack.
convinced,
Just
and
double
you were
down.
like,
Don't even think-
it didn't say I am. What are you talking about? Then I was like, I did not just hallucinate that. I know I didn't. The letters were big.
Oh,
I guess letters and one number.
Think this
but
tuning into
still.
the tear thing's gonna work?
That, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is from Catherine Lewis over at Games Radar. It says David Gator, the creator of Dragon Age setting, spoken out against the current state
Gator?
I think, or Gaider.
Gaider?
Gaider.
Okay. You said Gaydar, so I was like,
I did not say
you
Gaydar.
literally did, and you can go back in the VOD and check.
Okay. When you're 10 years old, there is nothing better than a toaster strudel.
I don't know, maybe having a dad. Sorry. Oh my god.
Eating pancakes last I knew.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Ah!
Senior zero ice.
I have returned. Hello. Hi. Sorry, I had to help find a phone charger and everything else. Hi. Sorry for all the hiccups today. Yeah, I don't know quite how to like pivot from all that into like that Nvidia stock. I mean, it is what it is. There's good mornings, there's bad mornings. This is not been the best morning. Some percentage of which it is me, and some percentage of which I think we all get really addicted to like this weird thing where we all lead these very public social media lives where we pretend like every couple is like this like piece of perfection that isn't this mix of two people that, you know, bring their own baggage and everything else into it, because they have parents that in some cases did their best, in some cases didn't do their best, and we all bring our own, you know, nonsense in. I'm better at this than I was when I was 37. I'm still probably not great at it. I'm still probably, on the whole, a selfish, broken dude who, like, is probably not good at this. I'm really good at the partner thing in the early stages. That is me. I kill it. I'm like the best boyfriend ever your first like week or two. Because the first week or two you don't have to deal with like the long entrenched reality of dealing with living with me. And I'm better, and I'll keep getting better, but I am who I am. To some extent, It's like that's not an excuse of like I never need to improve as a human being. That is just a like I bring to the table what I bring to the table. I'm someone who can make a silly rap video. Most people can't do that. Um and I'm someone who can sit and play a guitar and figure something out by ear. Most people can't do that. I'm not someone who can sweep a floor. I've gotten better at sweeping floors, but I have to put the amount of work. The way that some people play the guitar and play the guitar and play the guitar and play the guitar, and take lessons and pay for lessons, and like they can like somewhat mechanically almost get around to kind of playing a song, but can't quite play the song. And then they're just like, oh man, guitar is just not for me. That's how I feel about a lot of other stuff that I'm not good at, and I try 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 to get better. But and that's just the cleaning the floor stuff. That's not even the like emotional maturity, emotional awareness stuff, which is like a whole other bag of worms. And I was raised by a not great person who was raised by depression and war survivors, and it's like I've come around to some level of emotional intelligence, but it's still probably lacking. I'll get there though. She says you're also a trauma survivor. You deal in your own way. I understand what you're saying, but constantly dogging yourself isn't beneficial to making strides and changing to be the partner you want to be. Remember that you're making progress even though it's not perfect. You're way better than you were 5 years ago, and that's big progress. All of that is definitely true. Yeah, I'm not sitting here just dumping on myself. It's just also the way I am. I'm also not going to come here on a microphone and be like, and here's all the stuff that is not my I'm not, for better or worse, I'm the guy who, whilst going through a divorce was very much just like, and never getting on a microphone and being like, and here's how much my ex-wife sucks. Like, I'm never going to, that's I can only share my side of things, and I can only share the side of things where I'm failing, where I'm letting down, where I'm the problem, right? That's all that I can bring to the table publicly, and all I'm willing to ever bring to the table publicly. Shiki says we're all lacking in emotional intelligence. We'll be here for you through everything. Proud of you. I'm proud of you for recognizing you do need to better yourself. It takes a lot to do that. Yeah, it's kind of wild because I was like, while I was divorcing Kimberly, I was very frustrated and angry and mad and upset with her, and very much thought at the time. These are things I can say now because I no longer believe them to be true. At the time, I really thought that she was being like terrible and selfish. And I, said a lot of those things privately. It's a lot of people heard them from me privately, but like I never on a public forum came out and was like, rah! In public I was very just like, well, we love each other still, and it's the end of our journey together, and like very just like whatever. And I was very upset and hurt and frustrated, and I told her, I think it was not this year because this year just started. It was sometime last year, I think, that I told her I thanked her, because we have these 3 beautiful kids together, and they're amazing. And she took so much public shit, not from me, but from others, and private shit from me and from others. for doing what she did of like, you know, divorcing the guy who you have 3 kids with, who like on all accounts is a nice guy, and like and just because you're not happy and like and I think what she did is one of the bravest fucking things ever. She did it, and that was a gift that I would have stayed married forever. I would have found a way to make it work, and I did not prioritize my happiness at all. I was not happy. She was not happy, but I would have made it work because, like, there's kids and there's everything else, and yeah, I would have continued to stay in that, and I'm so grateful to her that she was brave enough to be like, no, this needs to be done. And I'm glad that I did not publicly like drag her through the mud or anything at the time. Because now I can come back and I can say that, and I can publicly praise her now for that. And at the time, I did not feel that. I didn't feel anywhere close to that. She says, oh, I get that. There's not only 2 options, though. I'm not saying that the shame Lena or the kids. Just try to celebrate or at least acknowledge your accomplishments and your steps towards betterment. Yeah, I do. I have a long road to go. And it's hard sometimes when, like, even in the moment you can recognize that it's like you love someone, and like, and you recognize in the moment that you're just like, I am not capable of like be like withstanding whatever is happening and doing like being like the Superman I need to be in this moment. Like, I'm just not having that within you when you recognize that that's simultaneously what you need to have. And just like this like weird like removed thing where you're like, I feel like I'm watching myself to make decision A, and it's probably happening on the other side too. Like, you're like, I'm making decision A, which is not the right decision, but it's probably what's making me feel safe in this moment. And on the other side, the same thing's probably happening too. And you're just like, man, if I could just make B, if I could just like stop making decision A and make decision B instead, this would be fine. But decision B doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel like where you need to go. And even if you can cognitively recognize that's what you need to do, it's tough, man. It says I haven't been able to lock into stream whole time due to work, but love you, Jeff. So glad you keep on growing. I try. This is not me trying to be performative or anything. If I were, I would just be on here like, all right, Ubisoft closes another studio. That's what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. I've promised everybody unabashedly what you get out of me is whatever is happening, whoever I am. There is no, for better or worse, I have no veil. All right, it's time for the news. Yeah, it's all like sucky news. These are the headlines today. Ubisoft closing more studio, laying off more people. I guess Friendly Neighbor Spider-Man getting more episodes. That's fun. The Nvidia thing, I don't know. This is where I was last night. The Nvidia sheds almost $600 billion in market cap. It's weird for us to not talk about that. It is, because it's like we've talked about AI so much on this show. I don't care. I don't care what a bunch of loser fucking billionaires crying over their made up money disappear. Like, what the fuck? We all have real problems. And it's not like Nvidia losing all this means that we can finally afford graphics cards. That's still, they're not coming down in price. Jesus fuck. But then it's like it's weird to not talk about it. Are we just like going to come on here and like ignore the fact that that's happening after we've talked about like all this AI garbage for the last year? No. Jesus. Sam says growing is a hard thing and perspective constantly changes. Introspection is something a lot of people ignore because it's uncomfortable. It's good you're recognizing there is room for growth. And I'm proud of you. Thank you for saying that. Shiki says, don't forget, though, we all support you and love you and would prefer to relax and end stream. We support that. If you want to have big talks with us about big stuff, let's go. Let's go. If you want to talk shit about fuckers with too much money, we're in. Sam says, oh no, Nvidia lost money. Thoughts and prayers. I couldn't begin to like super care about this stuff. This job of finding articles right now is so hard. Every day-to-day life is so hard. That's probably a large factor that played into everything this morning too. It's just like how do you life right? It's we were talking about it in Sam's stream, or not Sam's stream, Sam's lack of stream right now. We were talking about it in his Discord if Sam's not streaming right now, because it's like, how do you do this right now? How do you get on here and just talk about fucking Nvidia stock, or go like, okay, we're playing this video game when it's like everything's on fire. He says, oh shit, my Sam sub ran out. And I need your emotes. Yes. The emotes are important. But how do you do this? How do you like my entire existence is like 2 steps removed, if not fully exists on like begging for money. And going like, hey, we're doing this. Hey, we're doing this. Everything on a global scale is on fire right now. Everything on the political scale is on fire right now. Everything in comic books is on fire right now. Everything everywhere is just like, how are you supposed to get up and put one foot in front of another? And the answer is, as someone has 37 trips around the sun, to a bunch of you that have less, is like, you just do. That's the answer. That's the unfortunate answer. And I get it. It seems like it's insane. It seems like utter insanity to flip the microphones on and whatever your equivalent is of just like the opening music, the microphones, the doing the thing. It feels absolutely insane right now. But if we all do what we want to do right now, which is just fucking lay down and cry, if we all do that, then Orange Man wins. Sam says, you get a Shiki. Shiki is the reason I keep going. Someone has to take care of her. Yeah. But what if you're not good enough to take care of your Shiki? That is the real question. Sam says, I mean, I'm shit out of luck as soon as they ban video games. That's weirdly coming. I don't think people understand how much that is coming down the pike. And the good news is it's not games that you and I care about, so it's fine. That makes it okay, right? The fact that the games they're going to be banning are, it's like Tencent owns a lot of video games. Not a lot of video. I guess the Dark Souls, they own a big piece of Dark Souls, so I would be sad about no more Souls games, but I have to beat the Souls games that already exist and can play them over and over and over again. So this is what I do. I just start adapting, and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine, guys. Sam says I'm not talking about the 10-cent thing. Okay, what are you talking about with banning video games? Because the 10-cent thing is a very much more real possibility than I think a lot of people realize. Since before this administration, Moms for Liberty or something started a banned video game list. Oh. Yeah. That has everything too woke. Oh, that's like, yeah, okay. Well, you can't have video games reflect who we are as people, Sam. That's just woke garbage. Why would we want representation in media? Insanity. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is greenlit for season 3 before season 1 premiere. This is like the one happy news story, so I guess I'm going to read this, presuming the good show's as good as it looks. This is from Keith Nelson Jr. over at Kotaku. Says, when it comes to the upcoming animated series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, it seems Marvel and Disney follow the philosophy expressed by rapper Common in his Grammy-nominated hit, The Light. It doesn't take all day to recognize sunshine. They don't need the public's reception to recognize they have a multi-season hit on their hands. Brad Wittenbaum, Marvel Studios head of streaming, television, and animation, revealed in a recent interview with the Movie Podcast that not only is Marvel Studios' first Spider-Man TV series ready for season 2, but season 3 has already been approved. Wittenbaum attests that he's read all of the scripts for season 2, and the team behind the show is halfway through the animatics. As for what happens beyond that, he confirms we're greenlit through season 3. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to hear head writer Jeff Trammell's pitch for the 3rd season. Given the fact that the Disney Plus original series can get canceled after 1 season despite being one of the 2 most streamed series on the platform, renewing a series for 2 seasons before the public has even seen the first episode is a good sign they're sitting on a gold mine. Last week, we were introduced to some of the unique additions in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Will introduce Marvel fans, including new variations of traditional Spider-Man villains Rhino and Venom. While it's been made explicitly clear that the series is not the same MCU timeline as Tom Holland's Spidey, Hudson Thames, who voices the hero in both What If and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, told Screen Rant that he would love to do a live-action crossover. I'm sure he would. So at least we have that. It's been 4 years, so yeah, let's go ahead and give Resident Evil yet another movie reboot. This is from Christopher Livingston at PC Gamer, who says, this will sound familiar. Resident Evil is getting a movie reboot. Yep, another one. Just a few years after 2021's reboot, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, another Resident Evil reboot is reportedly in the works. Just like a zombie, this movie series seems unkillable. Also, like a zombie, it's pretty stinky and usually rotten. Oh, that's harsh. The 7 live-action Resident Evil films have been a string of critical flops, with none of them scoring 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. And even if you discount snooty critics, fan scores never get above 67% for any of the original Mila Jovovich films either. I appreciate the Mila Jovovich films for what they are. Like, they're not, like, they're not the best movies ever made, but they're fun, and you have to forget everything you know about the games. But if you forget everything you know about the games and just want a fun zombie movie made by a director who clearly thinks his wife is super hot and wants to show her off to the world, that's what you get. You get like 7 of those, and it's a fun time. The 2021 movie reboot was also pretty heavily panned. The television show on Netflix didn't make anyone happy. The last movie tried to be just a movie adaptation of Resident Evil 2, and it was fine. It was the Mila Jovovich movies are at least fun. I don't know that one was very fun. So why take yet another stab at a Resident Evil movie adaptation? Well, money. As bad as they are, the Resident Evil movies have collectively earned over $1 billion at the box office. And according to Hollywood Reporter, Zach Krager will write and direct the new Resident Evil reboot, which got the attention of several studios. Krager made a name for himself as a horror director after 2022's Barbarian. Barbarian was amazing. So, like, the idea of that guy now doing Resident Evil, if they just let him do his thing, sounds pretty great. The Hollywood Reporter also says that Krager's next horror film, Weapons, is testing well, though it's not set to be released until 2026, which has led to a bidding war over Krager's Resident Evil reboot, with Netflix, Warner Brothers, and other studios trying to acquire it. As for the reboot itself, it's reported to be a revamp that will take the title to its horror roots and be more faithful to the initial games. Though I feel like that's what they said about the last reboot too. I've asked Netflix for comment, and they will update. If they let Zach Krager do its thing, it'll be good. I mean, Barbarian is amazing. That movie still doesn't have a physical release, weirdly enough. Give me a physical release of Barbarian already. It's so crazy. You can't buy that movie anywhere in any form. It just does not exist. Outside of being able to watch it on HBO Max, I think. It was in theaters. And for a long time after theaters, it was kind of like weirdly lost media. It's a weird space right now with movies. Just put things out in physical media, please. And yeah, Ubisoft closes another studio. This is from Andy Chalk, a PC gamer, who says Ubisoft has confirmed the closure of its development studio in Leamington. First reported by Eurogamer, as well as targeted restructurings at its Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflection studios that will see 185 people put out of work. As part of our ongoing efforts to prioritize projects and reduce costs and ensure long-term stability at Ubisoft, we have announced targeted restructurings at Ubisoft Dusseldorf, Ubisoft Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections, and the permanent closure of Ubisoft Leamington site. Ubisoft representative told PC Gamer. Unfortunately, this should impact 185 employees overall. We're deeply grateful for their contributions and our... Why didn't you guys buy more Assassin's Creed? Now 185 people don't have their jobs. It could be that the CEOs could cut their pay a little bit, but no, it's because you all didn't buy enough Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft Leamington was founded in 2002 as Freestyle Games and was acquired by Activision in 2008. It developed DJ Hero games and Guitar Hero Live, none of which were released on PC, but the decline of interest in the music game genre eventually led to layoffs and a sale of the studio to Ubisoft in 2017. Renamed Ubisoft Leamington, it contributed to numerous games including Hyperscape, Watch Dogs, Legion, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and Skull and Bones. She says, sure, it's our fault. Not that Ubisoft shot themselves in the foot when their CEO said we should get used to not owning the games we paid for. Totally not that. Can you imagine surviving fucking DJ Hero and Guitar Hero Live, somehow managing to hold on to your job only to lose it now? Because the Avatar game didn't do what is it. I just don't understand. Like, there's so much money in video games. There is so much. How is there not enough? How is there not enough? There is so much money. Video games make more money than movies, than books, than comic books. They might make more than all that combined. There's so much money in video games. How is there not enough? It's crazy. And does it have anything to do with the fact that, like, what's the last Ubisoft game that was good? Watch Dogs 2? That's the last one I can think of that was like people were like, "Hey, surprisingly, this game fucking rules." Sam says, "I think we should fire all the big CEOs in a volcano." Corporate greed. Yeah. How is there not? There is so much money. We're coming up on a year of Dork Duck. In March 4th, it's going to be a year of doing the show. And I feel like every other week, at least, we've come and been like, oh, this company's laying off this many people. This company's like, how does Ubisoft still have 100? Ubisoft's already done layoffs. How do they still have 185 people that they can be like, you know what, don't need these guys either? How are we there 3 years into these video games layoffs? Like, it's insane. There is so much money in video games. Oh my God. Yeah, in December 24, Ubisoft announced the closure of its San Francisco studio and Osaka studios and a ramp down of operations in Sydney studio, resulting in close to 300 people losing their job. They already fired 300 people just a month ago. It's insane. It's insane. Sam says, in happy news, I really like the sparkles you put around corporate greed. Those make me happy today. I'm nearly done editing through the charity stream. It's been a good distraction from life. It feels good revisiting old memories, but also losing my mind listening to 30 hours of my voice. Is Tired Sam snarky in that one too? Because you get a little snarky in the middle of the night. That was my favorite thing about the charity stream this year. Get a little spicy. Get some spicy, Sam. King Udon Noodles has great emotes. The Toneberry's the best. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Every Tuesday, we ask a very important question. We do it with Selena's favorite theme song that I've ever created. She sits around. She's like, "Can I watch that intro again? I didn't make it on the show this Tuesday. Can I just sit and watch the intro, and then we'll sit and we'll watch it for hours?" The question is, am I the asshole?
What I need to really know, am I an asshole? What I need to really know, am I an asshole? Cannot be an asshole cause Reddit is telling me it's not so. And if it's one thing that we know, it's that Reddit's never wrong.
He makes some Bits emotes too. That's awesome. They're great. The best thing about that Tonberry is like the glint on the knife. I feel like a lot of people would just animate the Tonberry coming into frame, and that would be the emote. But it's the glint on the knife that really does it. Solid. Am I the asshole for leaving a family gathering and taking the cake with me after getting my feelings hurt? I, 27-year-old female, hit 1 year sober from alcohol at the beginning of the year. Congratulations. This was a huge accomplishment for me. It was bigger to me than finishing college. I told my family that next time we were together for family dinner, I had something to celebrate. This all happened at my mom's. The kids were playing and the adults were hanging out. I took the moment to share that I'd reached 1 year sober and how good I felt about it. They went with, oh, that's what you were talking about. And has it been a year already? Oh man, those emotes are amazing. Look at the chocobo. That's so good. That's such a good those are great. It's really good at pixel art and animation. Yeah, those are pretty incredible. Like, they went with, oh, that's what you're talking about. And has it been a year already? I'm embarrassed to admit I hoped someone would say they're proud of me. Why are you embarrassed to admit that? That's okay to admit. That's not something to be embarrassed about. You could just admit that you hoped someone would say they're proud of you. Then you don't have to be embarrassed at all. Especially parents. You want your parents to be proud of you, especially if you like do something like that. My brother-in-law Steve looked at my sister, and they both said, "Well," at the same time, and she said, "Since we're all here, niece just got into a specific gymnastics thing. It's been a long road, but she did it." Steve popped some wine they'd brought and started giving everyone glasses, cups. He made eye contact with me, and his face fell. I had this gnawing feeling, so got up from the table. I took a walk. I tried to get through the moment mentally so I could be present for my niece to celebrate her success. When I got back to the house, my sister asked me why I left without saying anything. Said I just needed a minute to myself. She looked at me funny and said, "Okay." I said I'd shared something I was very proud of, and she bulldozed over it. My mom put her hand up and asked me what my news was. I said I told them I hit 1 year sober. My mom said my generation always wanted praise for doing the bare minimum. And that wasn't an accomplishment. It was just what I needed to do, like graduating high school. Yeah, but we celebrate when people graduate high school. What the fuck? She said, I thought you were talking to Sam, and I was like, wait, what? Then I realized you're reading the story. Sam says, I don't know what to do when people say they're proud of me. You say thank you. That's what you do. Sam says, as an alcoholic, that's not a bare minimum. Fuck this person's family. That's a huge accomplishment. And Vince says, I bet this person didn't celebrate their kid's graduation. Jeebus. Yeah. Here's the direct thing I'm being called a butthead for. I'd brought a small berry chantilly cake, my favorite, to share after dinner. It was the thing I decided I'd earned. The kids had definitely seen it. On my way out, I decided to take it home with me. I guess when they realized the cake wasn't in the garage fridge anymore, my sister called to ask me why I took it. I said I did because it was my cake to celebrate my accomplishment. She said, word for word, "Are you fucking serious? Oh my God, Emma, grow up. You're such a fucking baby." My mom later texted me directly to tell me how disappointed she was that I threw a tantrum because my niece got more attention than me. I don't think her read of what happened is right, but that is why I'm asking you guys, am I the asshole because I took home the cake in the end? Was that really childish of me considering the kids saw it and then didn't get any? Shiki says, yeah, it's amazing. Anyone that talks about sobriety like it's taking the garbage out needs to be punched in the tit or the throat. My guess is that's someone who probably also, and this is usually, not always, but often the case with alcoholism stuff, is like often it runs in the family. And so it could be a situation where her sobriety is not something that can be celebrated because then these people would have to face some introspection. Sam says it's time to find a new happy family. Shiki said that's not what happened. LMAO, her family are shitbags. The kids should get used to disappointment if they're gonna run around them. Yeah. I mean, like, As I was putting on my shoes to leave, Steve found me and directly apologized and said he was completely oblivious in the moment. I know he did not do anything intentionally to hurt me. Edit follow up. Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for everyone for the responses. I have a lot to think about when I next go to therapy and work on. I do want to clear up a few things that I've seen come up a lot in the comments. I'm not an AA. I've tried AA before and it's not compatible for me. Works for a lot of people very well, and I'm happy for you if it works for you. So stuff about the steps and personal inventory are not relevant to me. It wasn't a party for my niece. It was just a family dinner. The cake was mine and wasn't brought for my niece. I didn't take it because I wanted to get back at them. I took it because it's my favorite cake, and I wanted to eat it because it was my thing that I earned. I don't know why they opened wine for my niece getting into a gymnastic program, but I also don't think it's my place to say anyone else has a drinking problem, and I'd prefer to have my eyes on my own paper. Yeah. Sam says, it's okay, my family doesn't celebrate my sobriety either. Yes, we do. We do, man. We're very proud of you. Shiki says, alcoholism is generally inherited. Yeah, so it's the mom being like, we all do that without realizing that's the problem. Yeah. And Shiki says she's proud of Sam, which we all are. Yeah. It's fine. It takes a lot to change and grow. It's huge. I will say, if anyone finds themselves in this exact scenario, I don't think you're necessarily the asshole for leaving the cake, but when the family's already not responding well and responding kindly to all the things you're saying and doing, taking the cake is just, don't be surprised when that further escalates things. That might be worth it to you. Where you're just like, this is my cake. I want my cake. I don't care. But it's just that's there's no taking the cake and having them not further their ass baggery. That's gonna happen. You're escalating thing. If you want to leave and not hear from them right away, leave the cake. But you're not an asshole for taking it. You're just further drawing attention from people that you might not even want to draw attention from. Sometimes peace is worth leaving a cake. That's all I'm saying. Shiki says they don't deserve the fancy cake. I agree with that too. I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying that sometimes you leave the cake to get some peace. That one's. We'll start with this one. Am I the asshole for hiding my expensive shampoo and conditioner from my friend's guest? I, 28-year-old female, share an apartment with my friend, 34-year-old male. Last weekend, while we were away, he invited his female friend, Sarah, to stay over. When we got back, I noticed she had used most of my shampoo and conditioner without asking. I had splurged on these expensive products to treat myself. I also make a lot less money than my friend. Today, Sarah came over again for a visit and asked to shower at ours before heading to dance class. However, I had taken my expensive products to my room this time, leaving only my friend's basic shampoo out for her to use. When she couldn't find the conditioner, she asked my friend, who came to my room to ask me about it. I told him that she's his guest and it's not my responsibility to provide spa products for her. My friend got mad and thinks I'm rude and petty. Am I the asshole? No. No, it's fine. This is a hard one for me and always has been a hard one for me because it's just I would always just I don't value the stuff on the same level that other beautiful, wonderful people that I love and care about do. You know, like I don't value the cake. I don't value I would rather have peace than like any of these things that people treasure. I have learned over 37 trips around the sun, though, that is not how it works for everyone. And they don't want to give up their little treasures, their little stuff. And that probably is something in my trauma map that I'm just like, I would rather not have this stuff and have peace than have a fight about shampoo. You know, I'd rather just use the shampoo. It's fine. I'll get more shampoo. I would say living with people is hard. There's a whole lot of hay made about roommate agreements and everything else in sitcoms, and like, oh my gosh, the autistic person made a roommate agreement. Oh my god. Roommate agreements aren't on the whole bad. I understand it's comedy fodder, and people should just like know and understand, but that's not how human beings work, right? I would say that if you share space with someone and that someone brings a person over, like, so I live with 4 other people, right? My children and my partner. If my partner or one of those children brings someone over, even though they're not my guest, they are still my guest. And we understand that in every other situation, whether it's like, hey, I'm a parent, my kid is bringing a friend over, that friend, I did not invite that friend over, that person is still a guest in my house. Hey, my partner is bringing someone over, I did not invite that person over, that person is still a guest in my house. We understand that in every other kind of relationship, but then as soon as like a roommate is bringing someone over, that doesn't make that person not a guest in your house. And I still think there's like a general, like, I don't think magically that person becomes not your, you're going to treat them a little differently, right? But like, I think like just let them use your shampoo and conditioner. It's fine. If they move from like guest status into like over all the time, because there's that thing that happens, right? Where if you have a roommate that starts dating someone, that other person can turn into a roommate real quick. And then we're in a different conversation. Then we're in a world where it's like, hey, I need you to not use my shampoo. But if it's like the second time he's had her over, I'd leave your shampoo. Taking your shampoo out is like a pretty good passive aggressive way of like making sure that like the shampoo's not there, you know? And it's huge and kind of crazy of the roommate to then come in and be like, hey, do you know? But I don't think it's crazy to just be like, hey, she's looking for a conditioner. Do you have some? And you could be like, yes, I do, but hey, could you buy and replace it? Because it's like, I splurged on this. Like, that's just, you just have that conversation at that moment. But I don't think you're an asshole. It's fine. Like I said, I've come around on this a lot, that like people should be able to have their treasures. Shiki said I would remove my shampoo and conditioner and offer for her to be able to leave shampoo and conditioner at the house. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of like kind ways to handle this. Shiki says if it's expensive, sorry, I'm not sharing unless you're paying to replace it. Yeah. That's a good point too, because like I'm coming at this as a bald dude. Like, I know that people that have hair, and especially people that have a lot of hair, it's expensive. And people that color their hair is expensive. And sometimes you have to buy big expensive stuff just to keep the color in your hair and stuff. That's another solution to just like have like shampoo. Go buy like the cheap like Pantene Pro V and leave it in there and like keep your expensive stuff in the room. If you really don't want to have conversations, that's not a bad route. All right. We'll bring it home with one last one and then call it a day. I can't. Am I an asshole for not giving the dollhouse I built to my niece, but to my wife as a gift? I, 28-year-old male, made my wife, 28 female, a replica of a house that's known to fans of a musician, but wouldn't mean much to others. It's about 2 feet tall and wasn't very complicated to build, but my wife has said a few times over last year that she thought it would be cool to have for little trinkets. She's like a crow with her trinkets. I love it. She didn't know I was making it for her, but I did sneakily involve her in its creation through having her make a couple TikToks when we were out together so I could get the colors right. She has no idea, LOL. I was excited, so I showed a picture to my brother. He told me it was cool, but didn't get the purpose. He showed it to my niece, Ava, who's 13, who knew what it was and said she wanted one too. My brother asked if I would give it to Ava for her birthday. I said no, it's for my wife. But I could make one with Ava. It would help teach her some basic woodworking skills, which they don't do in schools here anymore. I'd like that. Brother said if it was so easy, then I could make a second one for my wife and just give this one to Ava since her birthday is the end of the month. Again, I said no. This was done specifically for my wife. He seemed to accept that, but then came back to me and said, isn't it a little weird to make a dollhouse for an adult woman? No, fuck off. I told him it's not a dollhouse, just a fancy shelf. He argued that makes it worse because Ava would actually play with it. He must have gone to complain to my mom about it. He's the younger brother because mom called me to tell me that it was stupid to give my wife a dollhouse. I tried to explain it's not a dollhouse, but she just kept saying that's stupid. This weekend, I was at their house, and Ava kept bringing up the house and laying it on thick with statements like, I've always wanted one just like it. She kept asking why my wife wanted a dollhouse. I said it's not a dollhouse, but she kept asking why she needed a dollhouse. I told my brother that he was encouraging his kid to be manipulative, and I really didn't like it, so I was going to leave. He told me that I was dangling the house over her head like McDonald's and teasing her, and that it made me a bad uncle. Being a good uncle is important to me, and I do feel for the girl because she's a big fan too. I admit I have a blind spot for this because I don't have kids, and maybe I shouldn't have shared the picture with my brother to begin with. Am I really the asshole for not just giving it to her? Yes, it was easy to make, and I could make another quickly. Shiki said these people deserve the family from the first story. GTFO. Yeah, this is insane. Jesus Christ. Vince says, speaking of being manipulative, that uncle is wow. Yeah. No, it's pretty insane. And I get a little bit of it. Like, I've been a little pushy about presents for people that I care about, but like never like, hey, you should give this thing that you're giving to someone else to my kid. Like, but I've definitely been the person that's been like, hey, I know you're planning to give this to your wife. Here is an offer of like a bunch of money or something when I've had money, or like here's the thing I will do for you if you make this change, because I understand it's a big ask, but like I'm trying to come through and kill it for this birthday, and show this person I really care about them. I've definitely been that person, and you know what? Oftentimes, probably more often than not, that person has been like, "I'm sorry, no," and that's fine. That's an okay response. I don't get sitting and like, here is the thing about trinkets and stuff. Shiki says, this is why I don't speak to most of my family. Manipulation is so gross. Same. Yeah. I understand being like, yeah, a little pushy, I guess, but if you expect your brother to make a whole ass replica house for your kid, you can fucking wait until he's done with the one with it for his wife. Well, my thing is like trinkets and treasures and stuff like have meaning because of like the memories and everything else around them. If you let your daughter, what's the fucking chick from Willy Wonka, the like where her dad just sits and she's like, well, I want an Oompa Loompa. What is it, Violet? Is that her name, Violet? Um, if you let her do that to get the dollhouse isn't gonna like be attached to good feelings. Violet Beauregard, yeah. If you let her Violet Beauregard her way into a trinket, that trinket is going to be attached to like some gross, icky feelings. She's going to look at that and see a part of herself that she doesn't like. If you went with the first offer and it was something she made with her uncle, that's something she would look at for the rest of her life, and that would mean something to her. If, you know, your uncle didn't want to give it to you and your dad, like, gave your uncle his car or something to give it, then it's something you look at and be like, wow, my dad really loves me. Like, he could tell I was jealous of this thing, and he gave up a big piece of himself to get it. But if your dad just, like, bullies your uncle into giving you something that was, like, meant for your aunt, you're going to look at that and you're going to forever see a piece of yourself that you wish wasn't given space to blossom. And so that dad is I'm not mad at the kid at all. Like, I know they were sitting there being like, oh my God, like, this kid's being manipulative. But, like, that kid is being, they're giving that space to blossom. Like, it is on the parent to be like, hey, you don't want this way. You don't. This is how let me showcase for you what this looks like going forward. Because I've been there, kid. I've gotten the bitter fruit. Let me tell you how bitter it actually is. That sucks. I feel really bad for that kid. Shiki says, unfortunately, I don't think the negative feelings would manifest. The dad doesn't seem like that would impress upon her the importance of emotional maturity. Yeah. The problem is, though, Shiki is like, when people like that see the thing that reminds them of a piece of themselves that they don't like, they don't have the introspection level to recognize that that's what's happening, and that's why they feel like they don't feel the joy that they thought they were going to feel from that thing. And then they make it about everybody else, and like, oh, it's fucking insane. I want to see this dollhouse. Comments on here are like, I'm guessing the dollhouse is a replica of the Lover House. If it's anything like I'm imagining from what I've seen online, it is more like fancy storage display for her Taylor Swift memorabilia rather than a toy anyway. Not the case in either case. OP, it's your creation that you get to gift to whoever you want. To which he says, yeah, it's the Lover House. LOL. I didn't know if I said that directly, if it was going to affect what people said because of how weird people are about her. That's a bummer. Like, I don't love Taylor Swift. Is this 10:36 on a Tuesday? Is this where I get into my weird Taylor Swift takes? Maybe. I feel bad for Taylor Swift. I think she's a pretty talented artist. I think some of her stuff is really good. I think that there is this genuineness to a lot of her stuff that bums me out. And then I think like 1 out of every like 10 to 15 songs you hear the actual human come through. And the actual human is like this pretty tragic story of like how the fuck do you like all of her breakup songs make no sense because it's like they might have at one point, but you have to understand now that you are Taylor Swift and there is not a single relationship you enter into that there's not like crazy power dynamics at play. And the reality of why you are going to always struggle in love, dear sweet Taylor, is because you are one of the most powerful people on the planet, and there is nobody that you can ever date that is not going to play into it. And you can no longer just write things from the perspective of not being one of the most powerful people on the planet, because you are one of the most powerful people on the planet. You just are. But that also means that like you spent your entire life with your life being entirely public, entirely like you've not had a normal existence. You became famous when you're a teenager. And so it's been this constant ride of like everything having these shitty, weird power dynamics of either in the early days, you were either dating someone more famous than you or less famous than you, but while being famous, and it was always going to fuck it up. And then now you are one of the most powerful people on the planet, and that's going to play into every single relationship. And everything's always been public, and everything's been on this like grand stage, and you're the person who's like winning awards and supposedly celebrated with Kanye West coming up and interrupting, and like you've had a weird fucking life, and you seem like someone who is beautifully autistic in a way that like life was always going to be a little awkward for you anyways. And then now you're living this life that no one's ever lived. Shiki says, I think that's the case of most pop stars, but they're not underneath such a lens as Taylor. She's always been under the microscope, so it seems more prevalent with her. Yeah, 100%. And it's a bummer because it's like she's found this groove where she can write stuff that can feel really empowering to women who aren't empowered, but it is coming from a woman who has so much power, and you can see at moments that she gets that and doesn't love herself for it. And it's a tough like, I will say this, she is one of the smartest, most impressive people. I just don't always love her art because it's like I think there's like a disingenuousness to it often. What's up, King Smashington? How you doing, man? I appreciate the fuck out of you hanging out for this. You're like, I thought this was the Final Fantasy place. Smash says, I would think that anyone getting into the relationship would already be very aware of the power dynamic. I guess perhaps it may be more than they expect when they get into it more. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, she goes through, like, she, like a lot of young women, had a lot of people take advantage of her early on. And she's done what almost no one has done, which is like she's like endured through that, and not just endured, but like leveled up through that over and over and over and over again. It's incredibly impressive. She's an incredible woman. Here's the thing: if you see a dude out there with a quote unquote take on Taylor Swift, it does not acknowledge just what an incredible like woman and like businessman and stuff she is. Like you're crazy. Like that the dudes that say that are just like, they're just weird haters. Like that's, or like, oh my gosh, like why is the NFL showing her? Like, you know why the NFL showing her? It's good for business. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You stupid shits that can't handle a woman on your TV for 2 seconds during your athletic competition. She's incredible. Her art just is a little disingenuous because none of that power dynamics makes it into her music, which is primarily about relationships and primarily about how dudes are pretty inept and shitty often in relationships. And it's like her work's important because it's like I said, it's empowered a lot of disempowered women. It's at this point there's a theater to it because she's no longer writing from she like her music still is often like, oh my gosh, I'm the woman in this relationship and I was deceived and misled and had this happen and this happen, and at no point is there this acknowledgement of just like, holy shit, Taylor, dating you is a very like there is not a dude that does that is not like those dudes are not in power for any of that. You know, you're not in power while you're dating her. You're not in power after you're dating her because she's going to control the entire narrative too. Are we Swifting around here? Yeah. This is my very nuanced critique of Taylor Swift, in which I try to be nuanced, which the internet doesn't love. You're supposed to either hate Taylor Swift and everything she does or love Taylor Swift and everything she does. And my take of like, man, she's impressive and powerful and like it's awesome the things she's accomplished, but also like there's a disingenuousness to her work now is not a take that I see a lot. Saki says nuance on the internet, humbug. Exactly. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out for what was a pretty weird show today. I love you guys so much. We're gonna do this again tomorrow. We have raid messages. They look like this. There's a regular one and a global one. Shiki says, I think that if she can ever break free from the control of her family, it'll be much more honest. I hope for that then. That would be cool. Also, while you're at it, please check out the YouTube channel. I've been putting a lot of work into it. We're close to 50 subscribers on there. It'd be a huge help. Yeah. That's the only pitch I got. And have a good day. Tell someone you love them. I'm gonna go raid Pixel. He is doing a co-work stream, I think. So we're gonna go in there and hang out. Appreciate the fuck out of all ya. Be honest, be kind, be useful, and live a good fucking life. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.